This is Eikaiwa Live Episode 5. The themes of this episode is outside. Before we start, let's look at January's 365 language galaxies, stars, and planets. Well, last month we had 6 galaxies: Takanona, Kanmama, K-Workshop, K-E, and Charming, and Y-O! Way to go! And 2 stars, Take Agnor and Hiromi Okada. Nice job. And 8 planets: Tetsuro, Takesh, A-High Bridge, Hiroti, Yuka, Disney, Tomo, and Saku. Nice job. If you want to become a 365 language planet, all you need to do is share an idea in the chat. So, let's begin. The first question of tonight's show is, what are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? So please listen and repeat. What are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? One more time. What are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? So now, please write your answer in the chat. So you have 4 minutes. What are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? Please write your answer in the chat. I think for me, one time, actually not one, maybe 2 times, twice. I have seen tanuki, like a raccoon dog, um, by the kind of near the Tone River, on the cycling road. So that, for me, that was kind of scary and very interesting. One time I saw the tanuki, raccoon dog, on my way home in the kind of early evening. And one time I saw it in the morning, running along the cycling road. But how about you? What are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? Please write your answer in the chat. For me, one more interesting thing I saw was a fox. One time I was riding my bike to Isesaki, and I was along a river, and while riding my bike, I looked to my right side, and there was a fox running like on a small path, and so that was very interesting too. But how about you? What are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? Please write your answer in the chat. And sometimes people can be interesting. Hi Tetsuro, thank you for joining tonight's show. Have you seen anything interesting outside before, Tetsuro? Please let me know in the chat. I think a few times. I guess maybe I think maybe 3 times. I've seen snake. Well, maybe 4, maybe 4 or 5 times. I've seen snakes too. Um, so yeah, seeing a snake is interesting to me. But how about you? What are some of the most interesting things you have seen outside? Please write your answer in the chat. Some people love to see, love to look at the sky. You might see something interesting in the sky. All right, Tetsudo says, I've seen a cat which brought a mouse. I was so surprised. Nice answer. I would be surprised too. Takanona says, I once saw a rainbow-colored lizard in my garden. Wow. Oh, and thank you, Takanona, for joining tonight's show. If you're still typing, please feel free to share your idea anytime during the show. Let's move on to the next. Oh, Takesh, thank you for joining tonight's show. I saw an interesting cloud formation last month. Yeah, I think clouds can be very interesting too. All right, nice work. Okay, well, let's move on to the next section. Okay, KE, thank you for joining tonight's show. A long time ago, beside the road, I saw a snowman, a snow woman, a snow boy, and a snow girl representing a family made by snow. Wow, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so now please write a new question in the chat. I'll start the timer. So you have 4 minutes to write a new question in the chat. So if you want to, you could make a question about outside, or, you can make a question about anything. Why, oh, thank you for joining tonight's show. One of the most interesting things I have seen outside was the sorrel. Maybe sorrel? Sorrel? What's a sorrel? I mean, I'll Google it and find out. But yeah, great. I'm happy. Thank you, IO, for joining tonight's show and sharing your idea. Yeah, I love, sometimes, birds can be very interesting. I wonder if the sorrel is a bird, maybe? In any case, now please write a new question in the chat. If you want to, you can change my question and make a new question, or you can make a new question about anything. Your choice. I know a lot of people like to talk about food. If you want to make a question about food, you could say, like, what are some of the most delicious foods you have eaten? All right, Takesh says, what are some interesting places you have been recently? Nice question. Sorrel is kamoshika. Okay, I'll research more after class. All right, so what are some interesting places you have been recently? Nice question, Takesh. How about you? Um, you know, one interesting place I went to recently was Kamagoe. I went there a couple months ago with my family, my mom, and it was really interesting, really fun place. How about you, Takesh? I mean, instead of like talking about food, I like foods. You could say he's tried. What are some of the most interesting kinds of food you have tried in Japan? But yeah, any any kind of question is okay. Please just try to enjoy using English. You can write a new question in the chat. All right, Tetsudo says, what animals do you want to touch? I want to touch an alpaca, right? Nice question. For me, I like to touch almost anything as long as it's safe, and that the animal isn't bothered by me touching it. He says, what are some of the most romantic scenes you've ever seen before? Great question. Tough question. A great question, Kei. How about you? Wael says, what are some of the most interesting foods you have eaten before? Nice question. How about you, Wael? Tetsudo says, I like fluffy animals. Me too. What are some interesting foreign customs you have seen in Japan? I'm interested in Halloween. When I was a child, that custom didn't exist in Japan. Great question. Well, tonight I just ate some sushi. The setsubun sushi, the long sushi roll. That's a very interesting custom, I think, in Japan. So, great questions, everyone. Nice work. Okay, well, let's move on to the next question of tonight's show, which is, do you like to do anything outside? Please listen and repeat. Do you like to do anything outside? One more time. Do you like to do anything outside? All right. So now, please write your answer in the chat. I'll start the timer, so you have 4 minutes. Do you like to do anything outside? Please write your answer in the chat. I would say, for me, I like to do almost like anything outside. Walking, playing sports, um, drinking. So, and one thing I don't like to do so much is studying. But yeah, I don't mind to drink coffee outside. But how about you? Do you like to do anything outside? Please write your answer in the chat. And sometimes if you're like me and you like to do many things outside, then yeah. All right. Tetsudo says, I like to go to health spas and relax. Sounds nice. When I go to a onsen, I like to take a bath inside and outside. All right, Take Agnor. Thank you for joining tonight's show. I like to take a walk in the morning. Sounds nice. All right, Takesh says, I like to take pictures of landscape and flowers outside. Very nice. Me too. So I was just saying about the onsen. Like when I go to an onsen, I like to, usually I take a bath inside first, and then I take a bath outside too. So I really like taking a bath outside. And inside, I like taking a bath inside too. Inside and outside. How about you? Do you like to do anything outside? Please write your answer in the chat. And I was just saying that if you're like me and you like to do many things outside, you can just, maybe just say what you really like to do or love to do is okay. So now for me, I love to go hiking outside. Okay, Wyo says, I like to do a barbecue in my house garden. How about you? Wow, that sounds great. When I was young, in a college age, I loved to do a barbecue. But, in America, and maybe Japan too, when you cook meat on a grill, the grill gets, very dirty. It's kind of, so, and it takes a long time to clean. For me, it took me a long time to clean it. And so I think that's the one bad point about barbecue. Um, so nowadays, I would say I love to have a picnic outside. Okay, Kind Mama says, yes, I like to take walks and window shopping. Kan Mama, thank you for joining tonight's show. Takanona says, yes, I do. I like walking through forests and along rivers. Me too. I love walking, in nature as well. All right. Well, if you're still typing, please continue and share your idea anytime. Let's move on to the next section. So now, please write a new question in the chat. I'll start the timer. So you have 4 minutes. All right. So now you can write a new question in the chat. Do you like to eat anything in the morning? Could be possible. Takesh says, what sports do you like to do outside? Good question. So I used to like running. I love running outside. But recently, not so much. How about you, Takesh? Charming says, do you like to eat lunch outside? Great question, and thank you for joining tonight's show, Charming. Yes, I love to eat lunch outside. How about you, Charming? That's it all says, do you like to do anything inside? I like cooking and reading. Great question. Yes, for me, inside, I like to study languages, and I love to rest, study, sometimes exercise, and sometimes cook, sometimes clean. So, but I think maybe, inside, maybe the thing I love to do the most is rest. I don't rest outside very much. Usually, I rest at home and on the train. Great question. I don't know if I clapped or not, but nice question, Tetsuo. When we eat lunch outside, that's often called a picnic. All right, Charmin says, yes, I'd like to eat lunch in the park. Me too. Sometimes my family has lunch in the park. It's always nice. All right, Takanona says, do you like doing housework alone? Great question. No, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. How about you, Takanona? YO said, do you like to do anything in parks? Great question. Well, yes, I like to exercise. There's a park near my home. Sometimes I do some exercise in the park and picnic. And sometimes maybe play catch with my son. Nice question, YO. Rakesh says, I have hay fever, so I don't like to do sports outside. I understand. Yeah, hay fever is terrible. So, yeah, I understand. Khan Mama says, do you like to grow flowers in your garden or in your room? Great question. Well, I think growing flowers is very interesting. And I wish I was good at growing flowers, but I'm not so good. So I don't grow flowers much. How about you, Kanmama? Tetsuro says, which do you prefer, a futon or a bed? Great question. Well, when I lived in the U.S., I definitely preferred a bed, and when I came to Japan, I missed having a bed so much. But nowadays, I'm very used to sleeping on a futon, so I don't miss beds anymore. How about you, Tetsudo? KE says, do you like to cook? I really like cooking. There's not a day when I don't cook. Amazing, that's amazing. I like cooking, but I don't cook very often. I only cook my lunch, make my lunch, maybe usually like about 3 days a week. So, anyways, nice work, everyone. Great job. Let's move on to the last question of tonight's show, which is, my two favorite outside places are the Takashimaya Beer Garden and Tone River Cycling Road. How about you? Please listen and repeat. My two favorite outside places are the Takashimaya Beer Garden and Tone River Cycling Road. How about you? One more time. My two favorite outside places are the Takashimaya Beer Garden and Tone River Cycling Road. How about you? So, please write your answer in the chat. You have 4 minutes. So, my two favorite outside places are the Takashimaya Beer Garden and Tone River Cycling Road. How about you? Please write your answer in the chat. Now, if you want, you can always give a reason why. Like, um, one of my favorite outside places is the Takashimaya Beer Garden, because I can drink beer with friends and many happy people, um, and it's a really fun and happy place to drink. And one of my favorite outside places is the Tone River Cycling Road, because it's a really long road and there are no cars. And so it's very, very comfortable and very safe usually. Sometimes it's a little dangerous, two bicycles kind of sometimes cross paths. That can be a little bit dangerous, but it's much safer than having cars. All right, Charmin says, my favorite outside place is Old Moodle Park. I often go there and spend nice time. I love Old Moodle Park too. I think Old Moodle Park is very interesting and has some very interesting places. That's a very, very nice park. The only one problem is Old Moodle Park is kind of far from my home. If you're just joining the show, please feel free to share your answer in the chat. My question was, my two favorite outside places are the Takashimaya Beer Garden and Tone River Cycling Road. How about you? Please write your answer in the chat. Charming, why do you like Old Mudo Park? I live in Maebashi, Guma, and there are some very nice parks in Maebashi. Old Mudo Park, Mine Park, I think, Shikishima Park, and it's in Takasaki, but not far from Maebashi. Guma no Mori Park. I think those are my four favorite parks, but and Maebashi Park too. So I guess five. But there's even more. There's more. There's a lot of nice parks. So what is your favorite outside place? Please let me know by writing your answer in the chat. KE says, any places become my favorites as long as my boyfriend is with me. Okay, nice answer, KE. Takanona says, my favorite place is Funao Falls. The air is clean near the falls. Sounds great. And that, kind of sounds like a romantic place too. Takesh says, my favorite outside place is the Guma Museum of Natural History. I like that place too. My mama says, my favorite outside places are Ginza Street and Tsukiji Outside Market, Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo has a lot of interesting and fun places outside too. Okay, great job, everyone. Nice work. Etsudo says, I like Jinbo Cho Bookshop Street and a coastal green park near my house. Very nice. Because I'm very interested in Haniwa and Kofu. There are some Kofu. Yes, I know. There's some big Kofu. So yeah, I like that too. Okay, great job, everyone. Let's move on to the last section of tonight's show. So now, please write a new question in the chat. I'll start the timer, so you have 4 minutes. So now you can write a new question in the chat. My question was, my two favorite outside places are the Takashimaya Beer Garden and Tone River Cycling Road. How about you? And so if you want to, you can just change that question to make a new question, or you can make any kind of question you want. Please just try to enjoy using English by making a question. Like, using favorite, it's a very easy sentence slash question to use for conversations. So like for example, you might say, oh, my favorite drink is Nihonshu. How about you? Or my favorite Japanese food is soba. How about you? That's very, it's very simple sentence and useful. Like very useful for conversation. Very easy. So, but yeah, any kind of question is okay. Please try to write a new question in the chat. Takanona says, my favorite bookstore is Kinokuniya Bookstore in Keaki Walk. How about you? Great question. I like Kinokuniya too. I think, for me, it's my favorite bookshop too. And they don't have a lot of English books, but they have some. And so I'm very happy that they have some English books. Charmin says, my favorite flowers are sakura and roses. How about you? Great question. Tetsuro says, what kind of fruit do you like best? I like pears. Nice question. I was going to say, Takadona, why do you like Kinokuniya? Please let me know in the chat. Charming says, my favorite flowers are sakura and roses. How about you? That's a tough question. I like, I think for me, I love all flowers. But I don't love flowers like very deeply. And so I don't remember the names of flowers very well. But I do, I love roses and sakura, cherry blossoms as well. All right. Takesh says, when I was a child, my favorite outside place is the garden of a small nearby shrine. How about you? Great question. I think, my favorite place was my family's garden. My mom loves flowers, and so we had lots of flowers and bees, like small bees, in the garden. So I would love to try to catch the bees. Okay. So Tetsuro, what kind of fruit do you like best? Another difficult question because there are so many delicious fruits, right? But I think I would say my favorite fruit is, I think I don't know if it's technically a fruit or not, but blueberries. I love frozen blueberries, um, and I eat frozen blueberries, with yogurt 3 or 4 times a week. Okay, great. All right. Well, if you're still typing, you can share your ideas in the chat or in the comments after the show. That's okay too. Wyle says my favorite animal is dogs. How about you? Great question. I love dogs too, but for me it's tough to choose because I love so many different types of animals. So, great question, Wyle. Nice work. All right. Well, that's the end of tonight's show. Thank you so much for studying and using English with me tonight. We have shows every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So, my pleasure, Wyle. Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't already, please subscribe and give the show a big thumbs up. I hope everyone has a great evening. And Mama says my favorite mountains are Mount Asama and Mount Haruna. How about you? Okay. I love Akagi and Asama and Haruna. Good night, Charming. That's it all. My pleasure. My pleasure, Katie. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Nos vemos pronto. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you. You too, Tetsuo. Mata chikai uchi ni aimashou. Take care. Bye.